Hello, everyone. I'm Steven Stelter, and I put this together as kind of a way of building community, which LEGO encourages us to do. And with that being said, I should advance my slide. Hello and welcome. So hello and welcome, that's what that says. And the welcome part's really important because I identify as neurodivergent, and I'm on the autism spectrum, and probably a couple other things that they have not told me about yet. So yeah, I was diagnosed when I was, I don't remember, late 30s. Oh, cut out there. I got diagnosed in my late 30s, only because one of my child was diagnosed when he was 10. It makes me a little tear up sometimes, but my journey's been very different than traditional people. And with that being said, it's like, I was always a little different and always a little quirky, and I always hit it. We people that are on the spectrum and other people who have other challenges or blessings, whatever way you want to look at it. We always kind of hide it and, don't acknowledge it and try to blend in as much as possible. So this kind of came about, actually. I've wanted to do this, but I've never really figured out how to do this so that I could present it for everybody and not just be my story, which is not as exciting, I think. But I wanted to see if we could make a community around it and come together and talk to each other and get to know each other and find out what makes us all tick and what we observe and how we find our way. I think that's important. So without further much ado, all right, so that's a little bit about me. That's as exciting as it gets. What is neurodiversity? I mean, I could read this slide to you. I wrote this, which is, for me, a big deal. I was trying to be really careful when I wrote this, too, because I'm no expert in this. I live my life, but I'm also not, there's a lot of terminology that bounces around, and it's ever-changing, and it's very fluid, and that's great. But it's also, I don't want to typecast anything or put anyone off or exclude anyone. So I'm trying to be as inclusive as I can be, because that's been a big thing I've trying to fight for my own child's journey. So, everyone has a variety of cognitive function. We all have unique brains. We all think differently. That's why we're here. I mean, if you have, if you're employed and you go to work and you're like, oh, they find out you build Lego, and you're like, well, that's, at first it was like growing up as a kid. I was in middle school and high school building Lego in the 90s, or early 90s, before there was any community, and that was really weird. I didn't talk about that. So, but with that being said, it's like we all kind of go through this where we think that way, and we think, I want to make something out of this and do this, and we're all creators in a way and in our own way. And so that's what this really becomes, is we have these different skills, we have these different abilities, and we have different needs. And we all, whether it's yourself or your ally or you're adjacent to it or don't know, that's all fine, because the more we come together as a community, the more we talk about this, the more we engage this, the stronger we become as ourselves and as a community. And we can work together there's still a lot of challenges to overcome, and we can find our way on that. And that would be great, because that's the easier path for the next person behind us. So I kind of think we're pioneers that way. So we are neurodiverse. But what is being neurodivergent? It's a lot of things. Our brains all process differently. There's the term neurotypical, and that's thrown out a lot in our community. Neurotypical is the people that are not neurodivergent. It's blurry, but it's great because we think about, oh, I should do this differently. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Versus people that are neurotypical, they talk about, hey, why did you do that? That's weird. I don't want to talk to you. It's kind of, you're weird. You got a lot of weird. And we are weird, and it's great, and I love it. And I'm not going to back away from that. I'm weird at work even. And it's like people are like, that's what I want to be. Why hide it? So we behave and think and learn differently. I learned very differently. I have a weird way of doing math. I had to figure out the other day, how to divide 226 by 4 or 5. And I was like, so I'm dividing it in numbers, rounded numbers, and then I subtract and add. And in school, they hated that. They did not like that and not fit that mold of how they taught us. So, well, other people are neurodivergent because they have diagnosed medical conditions, and not everyone has a condition or a diagnosis. And that's fine. Some people don't want to get diagnosed, and that's totally fine. And be happy with that. If you're happy with that, awesome. So that's that. But why is this all important? Why is neurodiversity important? There's many days I look at it and I'm like, oh, this honestly sucks because I'm stuck. I get stuck a lot. And I get frustrated. I get overwhelmed really easily. And sometimes I'm a vocal person when I'm get stuck. And that creates a lot of tension sometimes because people are like, whoa, like really intense. Because I just get in my little tunnel and I'm just like 1,000 miles an hour to frustration. Little triggers, lots of little triggers. But when people that know me go, well, we know that he's on the spectrum, that sometimes changes it for me because the people that get close to me know, and then they get more accepting. And like one of the things that was great about my child's journey was he actually went to a school that was pretty inclusive of his challenges, and which was a great blessing because he got some support, not of everything he needed, but the kids around him were like, well, he just does that. And I wish as a kid that people said that. So they didn't, but but hopefully we change that tide a little bit. And so that's what it is, creating awareness. We really want to make people but we are different, but we're still people. So that's the big thing. And build acceptance with that. Oh yeah, he's frustrated. We're all human. None of us are perfect. I don't want to be perfect. That's boring. I make the joke, and we're in Bellevue right now, and Bellevue is very shiny and new. The lawns are all mowed. I actually live in the city of Seattle, and my neighbors don't mow their lawns sometimes, and it's fine. There's no HOA to yell at us. I like that, actually. There's graffiti sometimes. I like that texture in life. But it's because, I don't conform to those norms. And I think that's a lot about, too, is conforming to norms. And not a lot of us that are neurodivergent don't conform to norms very well. So that leads to, we get judged a lot. And taking away that judgment, hey, they're different. It's okay. So, and that leads to being more inclusive. Hopefully, as the communities grow, and we can sit there and say, hey, come along. Hey, you're a little different. It's okay. Come with us and go get dinner. Come with us to just, I go to hockey games. Come with us to the hockey game. So, neurodivergence, as my PowerPoint here lustrily says, enriches the fabric of society. There's so many people that have made things, created things, engineered things. A lot of them are neurodivergent of some kind. We're a very powerful community. We're the thinkers. Sometimes we overthink things, but we do that. And because of that, society changes, society grows. Things have gotten better. I firmly believe that we put a person on the moon. There's some people that debate that, but I believe that, and it's so far away, but it's awesome. There's a lot of people that worked on that were dreamers and thinkers. So, but how does this apply to Lego? This is the part I've struggled with for years. Because I've wanted to do this presentation years ago already, and I've struggled how do I connect myself and people to Lego? And it's but it's kind of easy because the pieces do stack together very easily. But you look around our community, and I go to a lug meeting. And pretty much, I think everybody in that lug meeting is somewhere along their journey of neurodivergence. And that's great. It's finding the lugs for me has been very powerful because it's usually a group of people that are just kind of quirky. It's a bunch of adults playing with a children's toy. And people judge us sometimes, and judge away. Prime story of that is I went to BrickCon LA a few years ago. And a guy stopped me, and he leaned over and he asked me, why are you all here? That's an interesting question. I'm we like to make things. But what do you get out of this? Do they pay you to be here? No, we spend our own money to do this. He's like, he couldn't really wrap his head around it. Like, it was actually the most interesting question I think I've ever got, because it's always how many pieces, how long. But that was funny to me because he didn't connect it really right away. And he's like, oh, like you could see his gears turning. So anyway, but we're all in this doing these fun things, crazy things, being goofy. And I just, I like the difference, and I want to, I like embracing it. We're all kind of quirky. And, it's like, but we can support each other. I mean, the lug is really, I moved to Seattle 23 years ago, and I left a whole group of friends and all my family behind. And I didn't have any friends here. And it took me a long time to make friends, a really long time. And I had a young child at the time, so, and for whatever reason, I never was on the Lego community yet, even though I was building. And, but then I finally, when my son got old enough and I could leave him at home, and he didn't burn the house down. And so that was good. I could go to lug meetings, and I've made so many tremendously awesome friends in my life. And they're all kind of quirky. We're all quirky, and I love it. And we lean on each other. We support it. Like, hey, how are you doing? I mean, honestly, it's a real question. How many of you ask that question? Like, how are you doing? It's not like we don't want to hear okay. How many times do you hear that automatic answer is okay? I'm okay. It's such a censor myself. It's such a bad phrase. But it's also at the same time we want to engage each other and find that commonality. And we can share, like if I say we share different viewpoints, we can learn together, and we can build stronger together. So literally build. I mean, how many people have worked together to build something? It's pretty fun. What could we do together? Great question. I don't know. We could put a person on the moon, I think. Maybe Mars. I don't know. Maybe we can build a sub and go to the Titanic. We just won't use surplus parts to do it. A lot of us have struggled, and it's hard to reframe that. It's difficult to frame. So, yeah. I mean, I don't have any way to wrapping this really up other than like, let's just find ourselves and where we can go and like move together as a group. Like maybe, I don't know. Groups are weird sometimes too, but like it's kind of hard sometimes. But it's just like, getting to know each other and like. In recognizing our challenges and like how we can grow. So I thank you everyone who shared. I really appreciate it. That didn't advance. I was supposed to, whoop. Where'd we go? There we go. I really appreciate y'all what you shared. I mean, it's hard talking about this. It's emotional. It's hard. We get a lot of flack because we are emotional. We have hard times, and it's just what we are. So, like, if you have questions, stop me. I'm kind of running around. But thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. I would love to continue this. I'm hoping to be able to do this at Brick's Cascade, maybe BrickCon. I don't know how many conventions I'll hit next year because I ran out of money this year. So, I've created a Facebook group. You can join it. We can share there, post there. I'm not good at group things yet, but we'll figure that out. And I have an Instagram account. I just put a few things on there for now. You can just follow along. I don't know what we're going to put there, and I don't want this to be about me. I want it to be about everybody. So, if you want to get involved, all the power to you. All right, thank you.